Hey everybody, this is Chris DeFurio with Keys to the Shop. Welcome to this edition of Shift Break. I hope you're having an amazing week this week. Today I wanted to chat with you a little bit about grassroots cafe improvement. And what I mean by grassroots cafe improvement is this: not all improvement needs to happen from on high. It doesn't need to always come from management in order to be implemented, but oftentimes we are not tapping into all of the great ideas that the people on the ground have, the baristas who are working day in and day out with the system and the tools and the policies and procedures that have been given to them. And I will tell you that there are a number of times throughout a shift where any of your baristas have 5 to 6 great ideas, pieces of feedback, complaints that come up in their mind about the way things are. Sometimes everybody thinks the same thing and nobody says anything, or they talk about it behind management's back but never tell management. Little things that make a big difference for morale, for customer service, for coffee quality. All of these latent ideas and pieces of feedback, and not as many of them as could be, are being accessed and listened to. So that's why I want to talk first with managers and then to baristas. So managers, one of the things that I think is critical for a cafe is to set it up in a way that people know that they can communicate with you and anyone else who holds the ability to make decisions or make things change very easily. And with that communication will come an influx of ideas for different products that you possibly could get in the cafe. Too often, a manager will try to take on all of the improvements themselves and let baristas just do the job description that is on the sheet that, when they signed up to be a barista, this is what you do. And I will handle all of the admin work and all the creativity and all of the problem solving, all of that stuff. I feel like you're going to burn out, first of all. Second of all, you're not tapping into the potential that lies in each team member in the cafe. When you're a manager, you are not on the floor as much as the baristas. Oftentimes, that's the case. And even if you are, from my experience being on the floor, you are thinking about all of the other stuff that you have to do. Now, one of the things that a barista is really focused on is the stuff that really makes up their day-to-day life. It's, their world. Now, that the fact no one says anything about problems on the bar doesn't mean that they aren't feeling the effect of those things, or maybe becoming embittered that nobody is noticing this, even though they have to live with it day to day. This is a problem that can be solved by having a great outlet for communication where you are tapping into the needs of the team, making yourself aware as much as you can of what's going on in the cafe, but also, again, providing the ability for them to come to you and say, hey, here are some ideas for how to improve things. You could just say it explicitly, like, hey, what are some things that would make this bar work better? And you'll be surprised at how many great ideas will come bubbling up that people have been sitting on for a long time because maybe they were waiting for permission. And it's not always a problem of management. Sometimes it's the baristas that give themselves unnecessary hurdles. Okay, so let's talk to baristas. Baristas, when you're working on the bar and you notice something and you have an idea for where to put the tea jars that's better than where they currently are, one of the things you could do is you could just move them, kind of a passive-aggressive move, and now the openers come in and they're like, oh, where are the teas? We don't know where they are. And somebody communicates, oh, I moved them. I thought it was better. Let me know what you think. And well, I tell you what I think is I couldn't find the teas, and so they get moved back. This is not the right way to go about affecting change in the cafe. So the way to handle this is when you notice something that is out of whack, or you have an idea to improve a task or a workflow on the bar, the best thing to do is to communicate that to the manager, but first, write it down. Think about it. Record it somehow. Get your thoughts on paper or in a notes app on your phone. Just something that makes a record of those little things that you notice out of the corner of your eye when you're steaming. Because you know what happens with these great ideas is sometimes you get them and then the rest of the shift unfolds and makes you forget what it was that you thought, and you end up never bringing it up to the manager. You need to record it so it doesn't go away, and then you need to talk to the manager about it and maybe the group about it. If you've got a team meeting, bring it up. Say, what do you guys think about bringing the teas to this place on the bar? And here are my reasons why I think that's a good solution. So you're coming with a plan, you're coming with a measured approach, something that you think is going to contribute to the bar, and you'll probably be one of several people who have had that thought, but you'll be the one to have brought it up. That's going to look pretty good on the eyes of a manager to see you taking the initiative. Even if it turns out to be something that you don't get implemented on the bar for whatever reason, you at least have dialed your mind into this place where now you're going to look at details on the bar in a different way. You're not going to use those things as ammunition against management. You're going to use those things as opportunities to engage in offering solutions to the bar. And you just have to understand, managers have a different set of tasks that sometimes doesn't allow them to see things the way that you see them. I have missed so many things as a manager that baristas see all the time. And when it's brought to my attention, I'm like, of course, yes, thank you for bringing that up. It reminded me, maybe I even thought about it the week before, but something crazy happened with the schedule. I went in emergency mode and it just fell off the face of the earth. I need people to hold me accountable. When I am in a management position, we need to be there for each other. Don't separate yourself, baristas versus managers. Hold each other up in this way and improve the bar together. Managers, give them that outlet of communication where ideas and feedback is just welcome. Baristas, don't be shy about offering that feedback in a constructive and solutions-focused way and in a planful way. Definitely don't go changing things on the bar just because you want them to be different. Think of the whole. Think of the team in a cafe and something that is going to be a sustainable solution. You don't want things to just be changed on you. Don't change them on other people. Managers, this goes for you too. There's always room for improvement in communication when it comes to making these changes. But I want to emphasize in this episode today how when we work together and we tap into the individuals who work the bar for ideas for improving the bar, we're going to come up with so many things that we might not ever have come up with as managers. And I think that's really a recipe for success and grassroots improvement of the cafe. So I hope you found this episode to be helpful. It's certainly something that I am learning to do more and more as I work in coffee, and I've seen the benefits of it for sure. So thank you for joining me, and I will see you here next week for another edition of Shift Break, from Keys to the Shop.